Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dust on Gaming with a deck tech for the Space Marine's most updated blue-white control list. He's been playing in FNM, so there's been a request to see this deck played that he's mentioned a couple times on stream and in the comments below. This is his most updated list that he sent me the other day. So gonna do a quick deck tech on it. I'm gonna leave the comments for his deck guide slash sideboarding guide slash suggestions. We're definitely going to play this here in the next couple days. I just don't think I have the brain power right now to play a couple of matches with a blue-white control deck. I haven't been able to shake the headache from when I was streaming this morning. So, anyways, here goes. This is the version of the blue-white no-win con main deck. You've obviously got your blue dual lands, Memorial to Genius as one of your cards over here in the land base. A couple of Field of Runes. Other than that, your mana base, nothing too special. Some lists have run Arch of Warzaka or similar such cards. I've been impressed with that card, but I can definitely understand when keeping the mana base pretty streamlined. And Memorial Genius and Field of Runes are pretty relevant utility lands. This deck is very heavy on 2-mana interaction, both in Counterspell and in Seal Away. I think that is one of the big keys to the blue-white X decks doing well in the format, especially against the red variants, is you need to have quick interaction. Before Seal Away, kind of your necessary evil here as your somewhat conditional white removal early in the game. Essence Scatter and Syncopate as your early permission. Search for Ascanta, start getting your card advantage and selection rolling. Unwind is kind of a free-ish negate. You know, once you get to 3 mana and you're able to cast this, you can basically cast Unwind into, like, say, Glimmer of Genius in the same turn, kind of negating any kind of advantage your opponent would get from trying to double spell that turn. A couple cast outs here, or some number of cast outs here for difficult permanents such as Planeswalkers, one Ixalan's Binding to get rid of a particularly annoying one. Ixalan's Binding, obviously you have to tap out for it, or tap mana on your mana phase, which is a little bit of a drawback. Silver Wreckage and Fumigates as your obligatory sweepers when you start falling behind, especially against decks like Mono Red or the Green Splash, whatever, Steel Leaf Stompy decks. Glimmer of Genius kind of rounding out your card advantage. Teferi and Commit to Memory as your kind of win con slash resets here. And a couple Farm to Market as card selection and another creature removal spell. So Farm to Market kind of goes in this 3 mana slot. So really, in reality, your deck kind of looks like this in the early turns. This is your 2 mana interaction. This is your 3 mana interaction. This is your 4 mana stuff, and then your 5 mana slash win cons. So for those of you who aren't familiar, we've talked about this a little bit on the channel. This particular style of deck's main win con is Teferi. You ultimate a Teferi, you plus it, obviously, and then you keep drawing cards. You start blowing up your opponent's lands to get to the point where they have no permanence in play. Then you either loop a Commit to Memory, draw 7 cards, blow up a bunch of your opponent's lands. They can't do anything with cards that they just drew. Or you just wait till you get to the last card in your library, and you keep having a Teferi target itself. Put it in the top of your library, since it's the only card, and you just keep looping Teferi. You keep drawing a card every turn, keep blowing up their lands. Basically, your opponent can't do anything, you're not decking yourself, and they're kind of out of luck. Beyond that, his sideboard is very, very, very creature heavy. I'm presuming each creatures have their particular matchups, or the cards are coming in the specific matchups. So I will let him explain that away in the comment section once he sees this video. Shall I Voice of Plenty? I'm presuming for like the red matchups or the control matchups. Obviously, you can't be targeted by discard spells. You can't be targeted by burn spells. Kind of irrelevant. Regal Caracal, obviously pretty good against the red-based decks. Negate for any matchups where you need additional things such as black-red in the post-board games or in the control mirror. Couple Approach to the Second Sun. I'm not really sure when you want to bring this in as a secondary win con. And Torrential Gearhulks and Nezahal are pretty decent in the control mirror. Nezahal in particular is very difficult to kill in the control mirrors, and Torrential Gearhulk gives you additional card advantage sources slash interaction in the control mirror. But I'm going to let Space Marine comment in the comment comments in the comments section. You know, maybe a small sideboard guide for particular matchups that he's played against. But yeah, just want to do a quick deck tap. I know some of you guys are interested in his particular list. We've already streamed a couple of his different variants. We've streamed the Just Got Control list and the Approach to the Second Sun that had like Karn in it. So he's gone completely away from the Karn list. Actually, we can go back to his very original list. So he's definitely come a long way with his build. So he's definitely been tweaking it a lot. So obviously he has a huge love for this deck. So see, he has a lot different than he used to run. So just as a frame of reference against this thing, and the sideboard was my creation because he didn't provide a sideboard with the very first list. But yeah, he loves the card Farm to Market. He said the deck's been performing very well, the new version. He said it's even kind of solved the mono red problems. So, you know, if you guys want to ask him questions about his build, his sideboarding guide, etc., how he would approach certain matchups, feel free to send off in the comments. I'm sure he'll feel free to fill you guys in. We'll probably stream this either tomorrow, but more likely Wednesday, I would guess. So I might take a day off from streaming, or I might stream something small tomorrow. We'll see. This is kind of a deck you kind of have to have your wits about you, and you have to know what you have going on. And see if I can find the Just Got Control list. This was the Just Got Control list he had us run like a week or so ago. List definitely felt like it was a little incomplete, but it did have some potential against aggro, and I did see a Just Got Control list in F&M a couple weeks ago kind of tear up the aggro decks too. So I think there is something to this Just Got Control list. But once again, you know, you're kind of splitting a lot of the same hairs in the metagame when you only have like 2 or 3 really relevant decks. So this has been Dusk for Dusted on Gaming with a quick deck tech on Space Marine's newest list and reviewing a couple of his old lists. So thanks for tuning in, and Marine, take it away in the comments.